There were tons of Easter eggs and hidden messages throughout the opening that you guys need to know about. So we're gonna do an in-depth analysis, and I wanna make a big shout out to Extreme Arthur for being the first comment on my last video. Hashtag notification squad. Thanks for ringing that little bell icon, my friend.
Hashtag notification squad.
Now, let's break this down, my fellow theorists, because right away you can see that this is symbolizing the fact that these two characters are on equal level, and he's gonna put up a good fight against Goku, as you can see right here. But right away, this guy starts to look familiar. Where have we seen him before? Of course, we actually saw him in the preview for episode 78, but even before that, we saw him in the original previews for the arc, and they actually changed his outfit, but we'll talk about that on a different day. But now I want to zoom into their faces, because you can see that the physical traits of the nose, the lips, the skin color, the neck, everything is identical. So yes, I believe that that's who he is. Now, the other thing I noticed is it almost looks like a little Easter egg where he looks like the announcer from Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament. And if you have them side by side, you can see that the ears, the eyes, the mouth, everything except for the skin color. But even the nose, even almost like the outfit, they have similar outfit. Very, very interesting. But let's continue, because right now it looks like the stage is actually spinning in a circle, and I will talk about that very soon. We'll get back to that. Now this right here, this is actually equivalent to the Kamehameha. It's not a ki blast, and you can see Goku is having to do a Kamehameha against his special attack, except he was able to generate that a little bit faster than Goku. But let's continue. So now that we're slowing down the footage, pay attention to the background. You can see that it is moving, and these characters are simply moving backwards. So yes, the stage is actually spinning in a circle, and I'm gonna talk to one of my friends who's a physicist, but it looks like this is actually creating a stronger gravitational pull, and obviously increasing the G-force on the stage and on the characters, but definitely increasing the gravitational pull that the stage has. So we'll do a breakdown on a different video about what's going on there. Now the Dragon Balls, I believe, this is my theory, that this is actually the prize of the tournament, except it's probably gonna be the Super Dragon Balls. But it's interesting that the 7 weakest characters from Universe 10 are the ones holding the 7 Dragon Balls. But anyways, let's move on from this, because not too much there. Okay, so it seems like Goku is actually working on some new skills. This looks like it could be some sort of Spirit Bomb or a Kamehameha type of ki effect. So definitely he will be learning some new skills. I think that's what it's symbolizing. Now Vegeta, of course, will be training. So this is my prediction. My prediction is that in the beginning, obviously episode 77, Vegeta is really stressed out and everything, but after they have some time to relax, he is going to use that as motivation. The fact that he's gonna have a daughter is gonna be his new motivation. I'm calling it right now. Now, I want to show you guys this. Did you notice that this was actually different than the original previews? Did you actually see the difference? Let me show you side by side. On the top, we have the original. On the bottom, we have the new one. It is very, very slightly different. They decided to basically make it a little bit more 3D, give it that nice effect. I love it. But let's continue, because this right here, on the front, you have the God of Destruction that represents Ganesh. And right behind him, you have the one that looks like a robot and all the other ones. So on the far right, you actually have the one that looks like a bird. Then you have the fox, who is probably opposite from he's probably the pair from the God of Destruction that looks like a clown. And then you got the female that looks like Cleopatra, and then you have the little mouse on the far left, and I believe he's one of the strongest. And then you have some guy in the background who is probably not that important. But let's continue. So right away you can see the other ones, and the God of Destruction that represents Best at the very front on the bottom, he just looks really evil. I mean, I call this, if you actually watch, I'm gonna have a link in the description below. I have a video breaking down the identity of that God of Destruction and who he might represent, and I did say in the video that he looks very demonic in mythology. So this could actually be going right along what I said and what I predicted over a month ago. But let's continue. We'll talk about the other gods on a separate video. Excuse me. Now, Gohan is back, baby. Yes, Ultimate Gohan. Okay, we can talk about him in another video because I'm so hyped. Okay, so this is what I found interesting, okay? So we already know the Universe 6 fighters. You got Hit, okay? You got basically 5 fighters from Universe 6. But now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are all the fighters from Universe 6. That equals 10. Now this person right here, this girl, she actually looks like to be wearing a different outfit than we saw the female Broly looking character. So, but I'm not quite sure whether that's the same character or not. It could just be the shading that makes it really dark and it's hard to tell. But I really hope that she's from Universe 6, because if she's not, if the fighter is not from Universe 6, that's going to complicate things. But the other thing that I noticed is right in the bottom, right below the little pink girl, there's this little eye. Now, I'm not sure whether that's actually part of the one that looks like a bug, whether that's part of his arm, or whether there's just like an eye symbolizing something. We'll break it down on a different episode. Okay, let's continue. So what I noticed here is that the stage is actually, you can actually move the stage around. And one of my predictions is that they're going to create different shapes, and they're going to actually transform the stage to fit the different scenario and to make it more challenging. So this person, my prediction, okay, this is my prediction. My prediction is that he's actually from Universe 3. And my prediction is that the Clown God of Destruction is also from Universe 3. That's my prediction. The guy on the far left almost looks like a cat, almost similar to Beerus. And then you have the girl right behind this guy who does look like the female Broly. So what is she doing there? And in addition to that, it looks like all these fighters, they actually have the same outfit. So maybe she's part of their clan. Maybe she's part of this specialized group, and she may not actually be from Universe 6, unless that's not who I think it is. But let's see. Okay, so you have the Universe 10 fighters, and yes, Android 17 going ham. Yo, we're gonna see a lot of, we're probably gonna see team tagging between Android 18, Android 17, and TN. It's gonna be epic. But let's continue. So, Krillin, oh yeah, swag. Master Roshi is not playing games anymore, bro. He is taking this seriously, and I just felt like that was the most badass scene of the whole opening. That right there, epic. All right, let's continue. So not much to say about these characters, but again, the person on the right, behind the guy in the front, he looks like Beerus, except like a different version of Beerus. So one of my predictions is that the role of the God of Destruction is not a role that you're born into, but instead it's something that you get assigned. So any living being that's very powerful and that can fulfill the role, the Omni King or the Grand Priest or the Great Priest or whoever may actually assign the God of Destruction role to any character and then train them to control their ki and make them stronger. So that is one of my predictions about that. But let's continue. This guy obviously is going to be very... Okay, so the wolf, not that strong. But this right here, this thing on the left side, my prediction on that is that could be actually a streaming service, like a camera that's going to be streaming the fight on GodTube. But that's just my prediction. Let's continue. Vegeta's putting up a good fight. I love this little... The way they do her ki attack with this little flower effect looks so dope. But let's continue. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. Goku, okay, he starts to attack him, and now this character looks surprised. Okay, so he wasn't expecting that. Now, I highly doubt that he can sense God Ki, but instead, he can't sense Goku's Ki anymore. So that's why he looks surprised. And then you can see from the fight that he's actually struggling for the first time. So Goku going Super Saiyan Blue is making this guy struggle, and then that's when the fight really begins. So then they continue, they start sparring it out, but then here's where it gets interesting, because it looks like Goku goes Kaioken. This is not a new transformation, okay? Some people think this is a new transformation. I don't think so. I think this is just him going Kaioken. He's going to have to do it eventually in the tournament, and then they start fighting once again. Now, let's get to the next shot, right over here. So on the top, my prediction is that is the kind of like the waiting area where the other fighters are going to be watching the tournament. I don't think that any other people besides the fighters, obviously the Gods of Destruction and the Supreme Kai and all that, they're going to be watching the fight. But Bulma and all these other characters, they're not going to be in the next arc for most of it. All right, they're not gonna be here. But let's finish this up, because now that was basically the ending of it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the opening, and I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your predictions. What do you guys think about all this? I'm so hyped, and I will be doing some videos later today breaking down episode 78 and pairing up the universes and predicting which universe each God of Destruction comes from. And I will see you guys later. In the meantime, make sure you guys watch my video about the God of Destruction that represents best on the left side, and on the right side, YouTube wants you to watch that video.
Subscribe to Anime Live Reactions for more. Share this video with your friends.